So the next time you're confused whether you should be friends with someone or whether you should continue being friends with someone, ask yourself this one simple question. Hey guys, I'm Harshita and welcome back to the channel. I have learned this the hard way, so I really hope that I can save you the horrible experiences. In my first year of college, I met this girl and we ended up becoming really good friends, like bestest of friends. We used to hang out on a daily basis, we used to explore cafes, we loved that. We had done crazy stuff together. We had done sleepovers, we had spent a lot of time with each other in a real, like, we grew really close to each other in a really short period of time. And for me, I love women in my life. I really adore and admire my female friendships. And I did enjoy my time with her a lot, and I grew to really like her and obviously love her as my best friend. I was constantly reminded by people around me that she's not actually a good influence. I kept defending her. I did not listen to anyone's advice until fast forward to 1.5 years into the friendship. This one time, something really disastrous had happened to me, and I was in one of the most vulnerable states of my life. For the first time, I had broken down in front of her and I had shared with her the situation that I was in. I was completely shattered and I was a mess basically. And the thing about me is I find it really difficult to be emotional in front of people, be it friends, family, anybody. I just like to keep it to myself. But it was a really tough time for me. One of the like worst things that had happened to me in my life. And keep in mind that this is the first time in our friendship that I had been so vulnerable, and I had shared something so delicate with her for the first time. I let all my walls down because I just was so shattered. The next day, she invites me to hang out with a bunch of her friends who I really didn't know at all. I had just met one or two people before and I had introduced myself to them. We weren't really close, we didn't ever talk, so it was really just formal. And others I didn't know at all. I was meeting them for the first time. And girl, this is the most basic rule of any friendship, be it best friends, be it just normal friends, especially if you are a girl. If another woman has shared something delicate, vulnerable, heartbreaking with you, you don't tell it to just anyone. In fact, you don't tell it to no one. You don't share it with anybody else. That is an unsaid rule, that you keep it with you. You don't go out there and like gossip about it. So knowing her, and again, I was friends with her, but I also knew a lot of her red flags, which I was just blind to. And so knowing her, when I reached the location of wherever we were going to hang out, I just, I went up to her and I told her, you know what, just don't tell anybody whatever it is that is going on with me. I really don't want anybody else to know, or like at all, because it's very personal it was very personal to me. And she was like, yeah, okay, I won't tell anyone. And later in the evening, I realized that she had told everybody about my business. Everyone, even before I arrived there. And I was really confused as to why would she do that. And I go up to her and I ask her about it, and she tells me, oh, I just gave like 20-30% of the information or whatever happened. just so that they have the idea what situation, what state of mind you are in. So they talk to you keeping that in mind, and they don't just say anything or whatever, and which didn't make sense to me at all. But I was still disappointed, I was still confused, but I was like, okay, what's done is done. I can't, like, I don't really want to make an issue about it, especially right now. So I let it go. Like, I already am in pain and everything, so I just move on with the evening. And then even later in the evening, I find out that she had lied again, and everybody knew too much about my business, and everyone is giving me toxic advice, negative advice, and making jokes about my situation. And I am not really in the state to anticipate what is exactly happening. And I'm really, I even myself am making jokes about my own situation to cope with it. But I'm not in this, I was not in the state of mind where I could actually anticipate. I couldn't even process the betrayal of my own best friend because I was already hurting from the situation itself. So a couple of days later, when the situation started going back to normal, I started processing what she had done that day. And I started noticing each and everything that I was previously ignoring and that everybody was telling me, but I was defending her. I was continuously defending her because apparently she was my best friend. She used to belittle me and disrespect me in the name of humor. Whenever I tried to grow out of certain situations, certain bad habits, she used to try to drag me down in the name of humor. I let a lot of my boundaries be easily crossed for the sake of this friendship. And that's on me, obviously. I used to have really long, thick, and beautiful hair 3 or 4 years ago, and all my, like, most of my life, I have been complimented for my hair, like by strangers, relatives, friends, family, everybody. Like, literally in the middle of cafes, or if I'm walking on the road, strangers would come up to me to tell me that I have really beautiful hair, or like, what's your secret, what do you apply, blah blah blah. And so now and then, everyone who has actually long hair will relate to this. You get this urge to chop them off. And I used to get those urges too, but I never really followed up with those intrusive thoughts. But I just used to randomly mention it to her. And one day she actually just, convinced me. She pushed me to just chop them off. I remember I was hesitant and scared because I had been growing them for more than 8 years of my life, and I was scared that they would chop it off more than I wanted it to. And my worst fear did come true. They did cut it more than I wanted it gone. They almost cut more than half of it. And I remember looking at her, and she just tells me, you know what, you look good, you look pretty, they look great. Even then, she convinced me that they look okay, even though her face said something different. And a couple of months later, when I started seeing things, I remembered my mom telling me that, Harshita, whoever convinces you to chop your hair is jealous of you. And I hate to admit this. I don't know, girls who get it, they get it. Girls who don't, they don't. This is true. I hate to admit it. My mother was right. Whoever convinces you to chop your really long hair, they're jealous of you. That one incident of betrayal opened my eyes, and I'm talking about her telling everybody about my situation. So that one situation opened my eyes to a lot of things that I had been ignoring the whole time. She even cheated on her long distance boyfriend twice, and one of the times she didn't even tell me because she knew I would be mad. And when I did come to know about it, I pushed her to, I convinced her, I did everything that I could to get her to confess to her boyfriend that she did it. and she eventually did confess the same day. The same day she told me. I was constantly trying to get her to do better. I was constantly trying to fix her. I was constantly trying to get her out of a toxic relationship, not realizing that she is the toxic one. I think I did realize, but I just did not want to accept it. Or I just thought that, you know what, I want to be Bob the Builder and I will fix her. So now, when I was coming to see everything that I had previously ignored, I just contemplated for months on how to break up with her, what to tell her, how to say it. What am I supposed to just tell her that now I realize every horrible thing you've ever done? Like, I would look crazy, like it will look like an excuse or it will look stupid, and I couldn't figure out what to tell her. But after months and months of contemplating, one day I just decided, you know what, that's enough. I just texted her, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. And then I ghosted her for like 1 or 2 days. She constantly asked me the reason, like what had happened, if there's something wrong and everything, are you okay, and all that, blah, blah. And I actually couldn't figure out. I still hadn't figured out what to tell her, but I just knew that I wanted to end this, that this needed to end because she is not good for me. She is not a good friend. But after a day or two, I thought to myself, I do not care if I look crazy. It is for me, it is for my peace of mind and my happiness. And I'm going to tell her what I actually feel. And I told her. And I told her that she did this, and I sent her all these paragraphs telling her exactly why I was ending the friendship and how she is a horrible friend and that I do not want to be associated with her anymore. And the thing is, I knew what was coming after that. I knew that she would go up to other people and tell them that I was the crazy one and that I randomly just gave her an excuse and ended the friendship. And she was someone who would find herself the victim in literally any given situation. She will manage to make the other person the villain, and she will manage to make herself the victim. She was so delusional. Nothing could convince her that she's in the wrong. Even when she cheated in the relationship, she used to narrate the story as if she was the victim, as if she didn't get enough attention or love or whatever from her boyfriend, and that is what made her to cheat in the relationship. And I know a lot of people would think that why would you diss her relationship like that? Like, even if yes, she did cheat, it had nothing to do with your friendship, so why would you mention that on the internet? And the thing is, as much as you want to believe that it doesn't matter, it does matter. And I'm going to tell you exactly why it matters. So I obviously didn't care whatever was to come after that. Maybe everybody hates me now, maybe everybody thinks I'm crazy. I do not give a fuck. All I care about is my own peace of mind. And once I have cut you off from my life, it is obviously for a good reason. And I do not care what people think of me. It's their opinion. They can make up whatever story, they can make up whatever world they want to live in. If something is off about you, if you disrespect me, if you betray me, if you're draining me, if you are constantly complaining about your life or your relationship but doing nothing to fix that, if you are doing such things while being friends with me, you cannot be friends with me. You are done, because I do not value anything more than my own peace of mind. I do not love anyone more than myself. So I literally do not care. And lies, half truths, twisted truths, gaslighting, manipulation, like, I need transparency or nothing. If anything you do does not align with my standards of the bare minimum in a friendship, you are done. The problem with me is, or was, I don't know, that I could easily cut a man off from my life. I literally do not flinch. I could drop anyone in a breath. if it's a man. But when it comes to women, I, for some reason, have a really soft spot for women, and I just find it very difficult to confront them, talk to them, or even set boundaries with them, honestly. But that led me to being the girl's girl to the wrong girl, which is another one of the most important points of this video, is to not be a girl's girl to the wrong girl. Because if you are a girl's girl to the wrong girl, you are the wrong girl. People are jealous of you. Trust me. You might think, I'm not even all that, why would anybody be jealous of me? You have not seen yourself from other people's eyes. You don't know your own potential. For example, for me, I have been in survival mode most of my life, almost 17, 18 years of my life. I have just been in a toxic environment, and I was just focusing on just getting through the day. I was told that I'm pretty and that I'm beautiful. And I actually believed that, but I was never proud of that. I didn't think much of that at all, because there is no contribution of mine in me being pretty. I was just born with this face and this appearance. I believed just having a pretty face does not make you better than anybody else. You can say that I was too humble. I was way too humble because I was just trying to survive. I did not have the privilege and the time to be proud of how I looked. In fact, I was ashamed of how I looked. My mind thought that it was more of a curse than a blessing to be beautiful, because it attracted a lot of unwanted attention. It attracted a lot of unwanted eyes on me. It attracted danger. So my nervous system saw it as unsafe to look this way. My point is that you might not think that you're all that, but honey, you have not seen yourself from other people's eyes yet. You have not known yourself from other people's perspective. You might miss to see your own light sometimes, but other people see it. And the bad side to it is even predators see it. Predators of energy, predators of light, predators of your magic. So believe it or not, they are jealous of you. If you're the only person in the group who is not in a toxic relationship and you are just living your life single, believe me, they're jealous of you. They will try to push you into dating just anyone, because they cannot digest the fact that you are living a better life than they are. If you are the only sober person in the group and everybody else either drinks or smokes or does things, trust me, they are going to push you to do the same. And it might not look aggressive, it might not look like straightforward, but it will be hidden under subtle jokes and humor. They are going to make a joke about pushing you to having just one drink at least. Just try it for once, or just do it, don't be a pee about it. If you are the only person in the group who does not smoke, people will push you to have just a drag or two of the cigarette. If you are the only person in the group who has healthy virgin hair and you have never colored it, you have not experimented anything with your hair, people who have damaged their hair, or like they are not happy with their own appearance, they will push you to do something to it. Because trust me, they always project their own insecurities onto you, because they cannot stand that you have healthy hair. They will make fun of you in the name of jokes. They will disrespect you in the name of humor. They will undermine you. They will belittle you. And it will all be just covered under giggles and laughs. A group of smokers will never look at a non-smoker and think to themselves, you know what, I should stop smoking. They will always try to convert that one person into becoming like themselves. They will try to drag you to their level like their life depends on it, because that's all they know. So make sure, be aware who you surround yourselves with, because they will normalize all the horrible things they do to themselves. And you will eventually end up normalizing those things in your own life too, because that is all you know now. Those are the people you're spending your time with. And that is the new normal for you. Smoking or drinking could be some of the worst possible habits ever. But if you're hanging out with the wrong group of people, you will see it as the most normal thing ever. Sharing your energy and giving access to your body to multiple people could be the most destructive thing that you can ever do to yourself. But if you are hanging out with the wrong people, you will see it as the most normal thing ever. I remember this one time I was talking to this person who I was introduced by the same girl that I just talked about. And we were talking, and long story short, I sensed that I was being expected to do something that, let's say, I would never do. Like a person like me would never do. So it came to a point where I got really weird vibes from this person. So I did what typical me would do. I cut them off. I ghosted them. A year or two after that, I remember telling this story to someone, and I wondered what part of me or what behavior of me gave them the idea that I was capable of doing something like that, or that I would be okay with doing something like that. That I am a kind of a person who has this particular behavior normalized in her life. It was like I am at a party and I'm holding this empty glass in my hand, and somebody just comes up to me and pours alcohol in that glass. I feel like I'm using smoking and drinking a lot in this video for some reason, because that's all in my mind. So I am only able to carve out examples just around those two things. I'm sorry for that. But the best examples are only coming around those things. So I'm sorry if that sounds weird. So I am not someone who drinks. So I'm thinking to myself, what made them even assume that I do drink? They could just have asked me what I prefer. They could have poured sparkling water or juice or anything else. Why did they just why did I feel like they are just so convinced that I must be like an alcoholic or whatever, like somebody who consumes alcohol? But I'm also in the middle of a party with a bunch of alcoholics who are my friends, who I am dancing with, who I am vibing with, who I am laughing with, talking with them all night. Obviously, people are going to think that I am like them and that I'm one of them, because apparently, this is the way how you judge someone, on the basis of the friends that they have, on the basis of the people they hang out with, they spend their time with. And that is when I understood why that certain thing was expected of me by that person, because I was that girl's friend. And that person knew her, and he obviously automatically assumed that because I'm her friend, I must be like her. If you hang out with a bunch of musicians or artists, people will assume that you must be an artist or singer or dancer yourself. If you're seen often with a bunch of nerds or toppers, people will automatically assume that you must score really good marks too. And it actually is true that you do become like the people you spend most of your time with. People will perceive you on the basis of your friends. So the question comes to this: if I hang out with someone, if I'm best friends with someone who cheats in their relationship, do I want to be perceived as someone who is unfaithful in relationships, who is also a cheater in her relationship? Because if I have a friend who is a cheater and they don't know that I am not supporting her, I'm actually trying to fix her, I'm actually trying to push her into a better direction, and I'm actually trying to get her out of this toxic pattern or whatever. They don't know that. They can't see that. They don't know our personal relationship. They are by nature going to assume that I'm like her. And that is actually fair, because you don't need to be in somebody's life to teach them how to be a decent person. You're not Bob the Builder. You're not there to fix people. You look at people's actions, you look at people's behavior, and on the basis of that, you decide whether you want to be associated with them. So the next time you're confused whether you should be friends with someone or whether you should continue being friends with someone, ask yourself this one simple question. If somebody were to tell you that you are just like your friend or your partner, would you be proud of it or would you be ashamed of it? Would you be okay with being perceived like the exact person you're hanging out with? If you do not want to be considered like them, cut them off. They're not your people. All the people in your life that make you feel less, that make you feel like you're not that special, you're not all that, cut them off. Don't overthink how you're going to do it. Don't try to be the one who doesn't want to hurt them. Just cut them off. They might make you the villain. They might talk shit about you. They might make the world hate you for it. They might not even realize what they did was wrong. They might be delusional about it. But choose you. Always choose you. You might feel weird cutting someone off suddenly without any valid reason because no major issue took place in the recent times. But trust me, I have done it and it's worth it. Because what I realized is that I have free will. I can wake up one day and realize that this is not what I want for myself. This is not what I want for my life. I can wake up one day and realize that I do not want to be associated with negative or toxic people anymore. I can wake up today and realize that I deserve a better life, and it is okay to cut anyone or anything off that is stopping me from living my best life. You will feel uncomfortable in the moment, even for a few hours, even for a few days. But trust me, after that, you will feel so fucking proud of yourself for being able to do that, for being able to finally choose you over everything and anything else. That's it for today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. I love you.